I was brought up in the business intelligence and computer science and that sort of thing way back in the day. I've been programming since I was 5, so really a geek. And then one day I was dragged kicking and screaming into marketing. And I didn't want to go because I always thought salespeople, marketing were always, the guy wearing the plaid suit trying to sell you a bad car. And I did marketing just to prove that they were wrong. And it turns out I made more money in a month than I did in a whole year. And I'm like, okay, so maybe I should do marketing, right? And that's kind of when I got interested. So the background of my business has always been marketing and sales, that sort of thing. And lately I've been focusing on internet marketing. So yeah, and that's where I also ran into Dan. Before Dan's mentoring, one of the things that Dan keeps telling me is I'm too smart for my own good, which is a compliment and an insult at the same time, which I like. He got me to focus on one thing. So before Dan, I'm trying to do 18 different things. Yes, they all tie in together, wonderful. But Dan said, no, pick one, go deep. And then the biggest thing he gave me was give myself time, right? So with giving myself time, let me see the things I could see that no one else could see. And that's what made the business kind of flourish and grow. When I switched to marketing the first time, I went into financial services. And I made a lot of money back in the day. Used to pull in $1 million, $2 million a year. And then everything happened around 2008, 2009, everything kind of crashed. So I ended up losing 40 million. That was a bad day. And I was down for a while, right? Kind of just dropped out, stopped talking to everybody. And out of the blue, I just saw Dan doing the Vancouver Entrepreneur Group. And he called me up and said, hey, come see me do this thing. And this is still at the Burnaby location at the fire hall. The funny thing is, so we once upon a time, we were peers. We shared a stage, all that kind of thing. And I always liked the way he spoke on stage. Even though he said he wasn't that good in the beginning, you could tell he practiced, right? And you could tell that he was putting his heart and soul into it. And I like that about him. Like, he really goes deep into things and figures stuff out. So as a mentor, that was the one thing. The second thing is we kind of ran into it by accident. I emailed him saying, hey, good to see you. You're doing a great job with VEG. When I cross over the $1 million threshold again, let's work together, right? Because I thought I had to kind of earn the right to be there again. And the funny thing is, he told me, Earl, we've been friends for years. You don't have to earn anything. You could be earning zero. It doesn't matter. And the funny thing is, that was the turning point. When he said that to me, it felt like I almost had permission to be good and great again. And that's the funny thing. The moment that happened, everything just switched, right? It was like the light bulb turned on. So why did I choose him to be my mentor? It was kind of by accident. We were friends for years. I just said, hey, let's play together again once I hit a certain stage. And he says, why wait? I didn't feel like I was worthy. I didn't feel like I was okay. I didn't feel like I was, I shouldn't be working with Dan because I'm not at his level. I'm nowhere near close. And the funny thing is, it was him helping me back up again that got me to where I am today. And that's a big leap. Light bulb moments is really the biggest thing. All those little aha moments. And the funny thing is, it was never the big reveal, right? The thing about Dan is he digs into the heart and core of the business, and he finds the little small adjustments, the little small changes, right? So as long as you can stick to what he's asking for, getting that focus, and not just normal focus, like deep focus. And once you get that, he makes these slight adjustments, and those slight adjustments make the big explosions in the business, and just make everything go boom. And I'm like, you feel like it's such a small change. But that small adjustment makes all the change in the world. Once upon a time, so this is a bit of a story. I knew Dan was really interested in martial arts, and so I trained under some of Bruce Lee's second-generation students. So I introduced him to some of these guys who are in Vancouver. So it's almost like a coach, right? So it feels like he's coaching me. So the mentorship thing, I try to give him value back to him as well. But like he's like a coach, right? That's really it. Like he points the way, shows me the direction, but he does it in a way that makes me think, right? He doesn't just give me the answer. He makes me think, and if I'm going the wrong way, he kicks my butt, right? Like a coach should, right? And yeah, whenever I stray off course, he gives me the dirty coach look, and oh, well, yeah, okay, go back, right? And that's neat. I mean, I'm starting to see when I veer off the path, I can see it now, whereas before I couldn't see it before. What's changed in my business? Lots of things have changed. Number one, I'm calmer, right? I don't just make spur of the moment decisions anymore. I think things through. I evaluate versus judge, right? So that's been huge. What else has been? I'm not in a hurry anymore. And the funny thing is, I'm not in a hurry, but the business is growing faster than the last time. So it's weird. It's like a maturity to my business that Dan's really kind of brought to the table, right? So I don't jump at dumb things anymore. I'm not trying to do 85 things anymore. Focus, focus, focus. And then in that focus, Dan gets to really find neat things to tweak. Again, small tweak, big explosion. I'm still not sure what the correlation is, but it just works. He's been doing marketing and business and everything for so long. His experiences have shown him all the things, right? Like one of the things that he keeps telling me over and over again in the calls is that he's not the smartest person, but he is the hardest worker, right? So he'll make all the mistakes, but then he's made all the mistakes. So then when he coaches you and helps you out, he'll say, I remember that one. And then he'll help you go around it. Oh, I remember that one, help you go around it. And as long as you stay the path, right? He can show you where the mistakes that he made were, and that's great, right? And he's not afraid to share. That's really key. He's not afraid to share, and there's no ego. It's just like there's no I'm better. No. It's just like, okay, I remember this one. Don't do that. This is how it hurt. And the funny thing is, he also lets you step on the landmine if you need to step on the landmine, right? So sometimes I'm bullheaded. No, Dan, this is going to work. No, it's not going to work. I jump on it, it explodes. Okay, so it didn't work. I come back, tail between my legs, but at least Dan come back and he goes, yeah, I understand. Sometimes you just need to touch the stove, right? I started working with Dan again October, November of last year. We started getting serious and then started moving the business around November. Between November and January, I went from, this is a brand new business, started from scratch, to 6 figures in 60 days under his tutelage. And then so far, so good. The stuff I'm working on now is bringing me to the $250,000, $500,000 mark. And if everything keeps going on the same schedule, I think we can do it. I'll hit 7 figures by 12 to 16 months into the business. So the last time I did that, and the reason why I bring this up is I feel like I'm going slower. But the last time it took me 3 years to get there. Now it's only going to take me 1, maybe 1.5 if I screw up. So I feel like I'm going slower, yet it's going faster. So that's a big thank you to Dan for that, because holy cow, I can't believe it. I can't believe I can see the light at the end of the tunnel again. I can't believe that I'm almost back to where I was before. And the confidence level that he gives is inspiring, right? So it's the review of the lessons, right? A lot of the lessons he teaches I've seen before, right? I remember when I got FU Money as a Word doc before the book was published. I remember all this stuff. The funny thing is, reading it then versus reading it now, that level of maturity, that level of patience that he's kind of instilled upon me, you read the same passage again, it's like, whoa, no, that's deeper than it used to be. Right? And the funny thing is, he actually teaches it at different levels. So whatever level you're able to accept the information at, that's key. So you see it at one level, you're only ready for level 1. So he only teaches you at level 1, right? 3 years later, I read the same passage. Hey Dan, what do you mean by this part in the book? Oh, you finally got it. Okay. Then he shows me a whole other level on the same diagram. And my mind is completely blown. So that was sitting in front of me the whole time for 3 years? Yeah. Right? So that's the neat part. Like he'll only give you what you're ready to see. So that's neat. Like he won't put too much stuff, or he won't push you farther than you're capable of going. But sometimes he knows how far you're capable of going. And even if you don't. The wealth of knowledge, right? This guy is nonstop. I think I go to a lot of seminars and learn a lot of stuff. No. Not even close compared to Dan. Maybe I spent 1/10, if I'm lucky, of what this guy spends on his own education. So this guy is just nonstop. There's a saying called constant and never-ending improvement. Dan is like the living embodiment of that constant and never-ending improvement. Every time I see him, he gets better. When he started the DLIC back at Burnaby at the fire station, I could tell. I mean, he was a little rusty. He wasn't on stage for a long time. He told me, hey, this is the first time in a while. Now, you see him head and shoulders above where he used to be at his peak before, right? So he's getting higher and higher, and he's pushing himself higher and higher, right? So that's inspiring to me. I only get maybe 3 or 4 nuggets of information that I don't know already from his meetings. But oh my gosh, that one little nugget, just, I can take one and I'm busy for the next 3 months, right? So, and it grows the business just on that one, right? So it doesn't matter how experienced you are, it doesn't matter how much money you've made or whatever else. You're always going to learn something. Even veterans in the business who know their stuff, at least we think we know our stuff. And then you see this guy go, and Dan just shows you more and more and more, right? Like that focus of deepness is really important, right? So he doesn't just know it, he knows it. There's a difference. The results speak for themselves, right? I mean, who starts a 7-figure business in 12 months, right? And this is coming from a guy who was in depression. I just lost $40 million. This is a bad, I was in a bad place. And he got me out of that bad place, and he brought me back to success. He brought me back to, inspired. He brought me back to life, basically. So I don't care how far you've gone, or you might even make more money than him, doesn't matter. He still learns harder than anyone I ever know, right? He still trains harder than anyone I ever know, right? So regardless of where you are, this guy is just a wealth of information. He's always going to show you something new, right? Even if it's something old that you just need to look at again, right? That's even better, right? When he takes something old and repositions it and just shifts it just a little bit, and you learn something new from that difference of perspective, that speaks volumes. So that's what I mean. So it's just his deepness of knowledge and his deepness of, he knows every industry, right? I think I'm a freak because I know like lots of weird different industries, but yet I'll hold a conversation with Dan and he knows it inside outwards and backwards. I'm like, how do you know this? Like, it's such a weird niche, and he gets it every single time. So that's what I mean about like just a constant never-ending improvement, right? So it's if he's not at the level where you want to be learning at now, seriously, give him a month or 2. He'll be there already. So that's it. I mean, if you're looking for someone who's doing the research, putting the time in, putting the effort in, and then giving it back to his mentees, this is the guy.